Nate, you keep talking about stopping all the compulsions, but I don't think I'm actually doing them. It's all in my head. I don't wash my hands. I don't ask for reassurance. I don't go back and check something. I'm doomed, right? Like, I don't think what you're saying applies to me. I can't even tell you how many times I've heard this from different people. It's a very hopeless feeling. But let me tell you this, even if you were not doing a physical compulsion that we can all see, it's likely that you're still doing a mental compulsion. Now, when we think of compulsions, we often think of these physical behaviors, but did you know that there are also mental compulsions? It's not just thoughts, it's not just problem solving, like they are actual compulsions. They are compulsive behaviors that happen inside somebody's brain, and they can be just as distressing and time consuming. Mental compulsions can take many forms. For example, someone with OCD might have an obsession about their own mortality, and they might compulsively check their thoughts and feelings to make sure that they did not do anything bad or immoral. Or someone might have an obsession about being contaminated with germs. They might compulsively review all of their actions to make sure they have not come in contact with anything dirty. They may not even wash their hands at all, but it doesn't even matter. They're just overthinking and trying to problem solve. Did I touch this? Did I touch this? Did this person do this? Checking, checking, checking. Individuals can have solely mental compulsions, which many call pure O or pure OCD. They can also be a mixture of physical compulsions as well. And while I use this term, what's important to know is that OCD is OCD. And we tend to use these themes or titles or descriptions for individuals to feel like there are others that meet the same criteria as them, that they don't feel alone. These mental compulsions, however, can be really tricky to deal with because they happen inside a person's brain. They are not always obvious to other people. But just like these physical compulsions, the more the person engages with these mental rituals, the more they reinforce these obsessive thoughts. And it's harder to break the cycle. Well, so then what do we do about these mental compulsions? If it's all in our brain, how can we stop them? Well, first, we have to get really good at recognizing them. The biggest thing to do is to pay attention to how you're thinking. Natural thoughts happen all the time, but that's what they are, thoughts. They come and they go. It can be interesting, boring, or fun. I mean, that's what thoughts are. With natural thoughts, you don't care if you stop thinking about them or not. Mental compulsions are thoughts, of course, but with a purpose. Here are a few to recognize to know if you're doing them or not. Checking thoughts. Continually checking and analyzing one's own thoughts and feelings to ensure that it's correct, it's accurate, or it's appropriate. Mental reviewing, going over past events or conversations in one's head to make sure nothing was done or said that might be harmful or even offensive. Counting or repeating. Repeating certain phrases or numbers in one's head to reduce the anxiety or create a sense of order. Reassurance. Having to tell yourself over and over and over again and problem solving that things are okay. You're trying to use logic. This probably is one of the bigger mental compulsions. Logic, logic, logic to alleviate this anxiety. Mental blocking. Trying to suppress or push away these intrusive thoughts or images. And these often lead to an increased frequency or intensity. The more we try not to think of something, the more it tends to want to keep coming back. Neutralizing. Attempting to mentally cancel out or undo a thought or action that is perceived negative or unacceptable. Now that you recognize these, here's what we're gonna do. Nothing. Nada. Nothing. Jill, dude, dad, nothing. Sweet video, Nate. Thanks for watching. Simple answer. Peace out. Oh, I'm just joking. That's not it. It's not that simple. I understand that. But what we really must do is nothing. I mean, we don't put value on these thoughts or these feelings. We choose to not figure it out anymore. When there are certain things that keep coming back to our mind, we commit to not ever figure them out. Some choose to have these thoughts come and they go, taking more of a mindfulness approach, while others focus on giving the same response to every thought that comes in. Thoughts like, hey, thanks for the thought. Sure. Okay, I guess so. Maybe, maybe not. Sweet. Totally. These responses can teach the brain pretty quick that you're simply not giving into them anymore. And when I say people make commitments to not figure these out, they know what they are. I keep thinking about blood every single day. I keep thinking about germs. I keep thinking about if I left the stove on. I keep thinking whatever. If I have that thought multiple times a day, I am just gonna risk that this is OCD, and I am choosing to not engage with this thought. I'm not gonna do a compulsion to figure it out, whatever it is. I'm like, yeah, man, totally left the stove on. Cool, yeah, I guess there might be a blood spot there. I don't know. You're treating them with no value. The anxiety and urge to do this mental compulsion will still be there, but over time it decreases, just like a crying child asking for something. As time passes, you've ignored their request. They stop. Seems impossible, but they stop. Thoughts can last a few minutes, they can last a few hours, they can last a few weeks, but I see this reduce over time. Be patient. And reducing the thoughts isn't always the goal either. If you still have thoughts, that is okay. That's what we need to tell the brain. Cool, man, you're welcome to keep bringing these thoughts my way. So don't get caught up in but I'm still having thoughts, so this is not working. Nah. Remind yourself that the goal isn't to remove these thoughts, it's to change your response to them. Working means that you haven't given them value. Give me 1,000 thoughts a day. I don't care. So take inventory of your mental compulsions and get really good at recognizing them. I have a worksheet that's going to help you through this process to help you create this plan to slay your OCD. I have this in my Master Your OCD course. I'll link that down in the description. Also, to gain the upper hand, go watch this video right here to help you get one step ahead of your OCD once and for all. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.